Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that fun stuff. I haven't talked to you in like about 2 months now.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, how you been?
Good. You know what? It's all good.
Good. How many oysters did you have over the holidays?
A lot. But,
Okay.
any chance I could get, and we ordered them. We ordered takeout and had them shucked, and then we went
Nice.
before the restaurants were closed. I was able to go to one, and
Okay.
yeah, so I had plenty.
Nice.
You
Well,
know,
Happy New
I
Year.
had too many oysters, though. That's the thing.
Yes. Yeah, I think you like them more than most. So
I do.
so let's start off. A lot of questions. All the roads, sidewalks, bus shelters, have they all been cleared of snow in Burlington?
Most of them.
Okay.
So some of the roads for sure, yes. Most of the sidewalks and the bus shelters, but some of the sidewalks, the drifts are so high that it's really slow for our plows to get through and do their work. So it's still going to take a little bit of time for some of those areas. And then you've got they're even higher because they're high because of what people shoveled out maybe, but they're also high because of the plows going by. So just
True.
hang in there. I will remind everybody that this was the second largest snowfall since 1938 when people first started recording these things. We got about 2 months worth of snow in less than 24 hours. So we're doing good. Put it in perspective. But it's been tough. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's a lot of snow. So our crews are still out there working. They've been working around the clock.
Awesome. Like maybe by this weekend?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I think by today. Yeah.
By today. Okay.
Really,
Okay. Awesome.
yeah, yeah. No, they're almost done. Yeah, but just not quite. So
Okay. One question I always get asked to ask the mayors is why doesn't the city clear Windrows? And I didn't even know what Windrows was until I started in Saga.
the windrow for folks is that big pile of snow that's left at the end of your driveway when the plow goes by.
Yeah.
So we actually do have a windrow clearing program for seniors that can't otherwise clear it themselves. There's certain criteria you have to meet. You got to sign up in November. And it's always a very well subscribed program, but we've upped it. We've upped the number of people that can apply every year. We keep letting more folks apply. If you need it, you need it. So then the city will come by and clear out your windrow. For all the rest of us able-bodied folks, if we can, for everybody else, we have to do it.
Yeah.
The city simply doesn't have the resources to clear that. So on a big snowfall, it's a big pile for sure. My husband and I were out there for quite a long time, cleared ours. And we did the first two to give her a hand. But you know what? So many streets did that. So many people came out onto the streets to help each other.
That's awesome.
It's like a little bit of a snow party. Right. So it was really nice to see that community spirit. I heard lots of reports of people, we cleared our own sidewalk before the plow came by just because it gets slippy if people are walking. A lot of people doing that. So doing their part to pitch in and go above and beyond, which we're always very grateful about.
Awesome. I think the only city, I asked all the journalists, so the only city in the GTA that does it, I think, is Brampton. So, which is surprising. So
they clear the windrows? Wow.
Yeah. So I was surprised too.
Wow.
So, are there any new vaccination centers opening up in Burlington?
There are 4.
Okay.
Yes. So typically the vaccinations are provided through Halton Region Public Health or pharmacies or doctor's offices. But we learned just before the holidays of an opportunity where a municipality could directly put in a request to the province to ask them to send a mobile clinic or their GoVax bus so we could enhance those efforts. And so we did that. We pulled a staff team together to ask for them to send us the bus as many times as they could spare it. and we would provide a host location in one of our community facilities that's obviously being closed right now due to the restrictions for walk-in clinics. So we have a walk-in clinic on the 22nd of January. That's this Friday, 10 to 6, Sherwood Forest Park. We have a GoVax bus clinic. That one's by appointment. So this Saturday is walk-in, Monday's by appointment. Same time, same place, 10 to 6, Sherwood Forest. And the appointments for that one open on the provincial booking site at 8 a.m. the day before. They are usually snapped up within the hour. So if you're still waiting and you want to get in on that. And then we'll do it again on the 5th of February for the walk-in, no appointment. And we'll do it again on January 31st for the GoVax by appointment bus. All of that is taking place at Sherwood Forest Park. And the benefit, of course, is that we will be able to then contribute a little bit to vaccination efforts. Approximately 1,200 people will be able to be vaccinated a little sooner than they might otherwise have been able to. So if you haven't gotten your vaccination, please do so. You've got 4 more opportunities in addition to all the other choices out there.
Awesome. Obviously, with once in a lifetime snow event on Monday, all the vaccine appointments got canceled. Did that create a backlog in Burlington in regards to vaccinations?
A lot of the clinics actually went forward, and if you were late, they tried to accommodate you. So, yeah, I mean, if people couldn't come, then obviously they could come to one of our GoVax ones or walk-in clinics.
Cool. All right. Burlington decided to institute a full vaccinate mandate for city staff. What changed? I guess what changed? What changed your mind?
Omicron.
Okay. All right. Good answer. Okay. Next question.
Highly infectious. And, you know, the data is there and it's growing that if you are vaccinated, you have far less likely to be hospitalized and far less likely to end up in ICU. And we know that hospital capacity and preserving hospital capacity is one reason why we have had, restrictions imposed upon us to preserve that capacity when numbers are going up to, 10,000 at one point. We know that even though you can still get and spread Omicron or COVID if you are vaccinated, it's much less severe. So the health outcomes for you and the people around you is much better. So we had to make a decision, and this was a decision by our senior staff, not council, but council and I wholeheartedly support it, absolutely think it was the right thing to do. We have an obligation under labor law to provide a safe workplace. And one of the ways that we can do that is to ensure that people are vaccinated who come to the workplace and who work for the city of Burlington. It's also a way to do our part to help slow the spread and keep folks out of hospital. And we have seen an uptick in folks who were concerned or hesitating or hadn't yet gotten vaccinated. Eventually did. And so that's good. And maybe it prompted some people to have a look once again at the data, the clear evidence that vaccines are safe and they are effective. And they work to slow the spread and keep people from the most severe impacts and keep people out of hospital. So that's among many reasons. That's why we did it. They did it. And the fire department actually was a little sooner because they're in direct contact front lines with the public. So they, by March 1st, all have to be vaccinated. By April 1st, the rest of the city.
Crystal ball time. Do you think next week the gyms and indoor dining will be open?
It's hard to say. We are getting some signals that the province wants to go there, that they're looking at the numbers very closely to see if that is a possibility, to be able to lift those restrictions. But, nobody really knows. It depends on the next couple of days. School's back in session now, day one, because of the spread. Yeah. We need to see how, what impact that will have. The position has always been that you close the schools last and open them first. They go before everybody else. The rest of us can wait. Seeing hopefully that will be, that will be good experience for people to be back in the classroom, and then we can start to slowly open everything else up. Or more quickly if we've peaked. The data is a bit unclear. We are starting to see in Halton the active cases going down, the rate of new infections going down. The 7-day rate keeps coming down each day. So the indicators are going in the right direction. So that's really hopeful and positive news for everybody.
Awesome. Is that Boston?
It is Boston. He wants to go out. I'm trying to page one of my other people in the household. But if it gets distracting, I will.
Oh, it's not distracting at all. I'm just saying it's Boston so people know there's a dog there.
My dog is asking to be let out, yeah. So.
Okay, all right. So the city will be upgrading or renovating a lot of parks in Burlington. Is there anything that you want to highlight?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a new, they call it a water play feature. I call it a splash pad. Same thing. One of those awesome water play structures that our kids love to run through. So that's coming to Tansley Woods. That's a new item to that park. And a fully accessible swing. So we want to make sure that everybody, regardless of their personal physical circumstances, can use our parks. We are also doing design work for a number of other parks, and one of those, which has been a long time coming, are the 3 windows to the lake. These are the sort of the dead ends of major streets in the city. Appleby Line, Walker's Line, Green Street is another one, where people can go right out to the end of the cul-de-sac and see the lake, and we've developed a few already with Muskoka chairs and a garbage can, so people wandering by or walking there can sit and have a lakefront view. We try to open the front up as much as possible. So on some of those, it's design work this year or shoreline construction, stabilization to make sure the park is safe. And then the park features will come next year. So that one's been in the works for a number of years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna pause you for a minute and let the dog out because he's distracted. Okay. I'm coming right back.
If you guys are just joining us, Marianne Mead Ward, the mayor of Burlington, is letting her dog out. Just in case you're wondering, am I interviewing a living room?
All right. This is real life, real time. This is what we're.
I was thinking you should just take Boston out for a walk and just take me with you, and we do the interview as you're walking. This is just a casual chat, right? In front of 25 people right now, and it will be in front of 7,000 to 8,000 once it's done. So, but
yes, we can do that. I'll give you a tour of the neighborhood because you can't. We'll do the virtual tour until everyone can come in person.
Awesome. And you renamed a park. Tell us about that. It's Sweetgrass Park.
It is. So our journey started last spring, with the tragic discovery of graves of children at former residential schools. And that prompted, I think, for many municipalities, a search into what we could do to really put into practice and action the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action. And as part of that, Ryerson Park, as it was formerly named, was named after Egerton Ryerson, who was one of the people that designed the residential school system. And the name and the legacy is such a source of devastation and pain for people, Indigenous people in Burlington and obviously across the country. So and then there's a public school attached to the park as well. So the school board decided to rename their school, and our park is right beside it. We thought we would embark on a renaming of that park as well. So it culminated in months of public engagement. There was a working group of people that came together, including the ward councillor, including an Indigenous elder here in Burlington, to look at the names that were submitted. Over 500 names were submitted.
Wow.
And they vetted them. and we do actually have a naming policy. And one of the things that the group decided is we don't want to name this park after another person. We want to find a different name. And so then there were 3 names that kind of bubbled to the top. We went back out to the community to ask them to pick the one that they liked. And by a narrow margin, Sweetgrass Park was the top choice. And I'm delighted by that choice because of what sweetgrass means. And I learned this from an Indigenous resident here in Burlington who gave me a book to read, Braiding Sweetgrass, and gave me actually a braid of sweetgrass. And the story is that sweetgrass on its own is very, very brittle and very thin. It's like grass, but when you braid it together, it's very strong. So it is a metaphor for community coming together. And so we're going to plant some sweetgrass. We're going to have interpretive panels that tell the story of Ryerson, that tell the story of our journey and why we renamed it, that talk about what sweetgrass means. It is also a healing medicine in many Indigenous cultures. So it's a chance to embark on a new legacy. We want to put a healing garden in the park as well. So the response has just been overwhelmingly positive from the community. Very happy about this new name. Really excited that we're going to tell that broader story. Because when it was Ryerson Park, we didn't even tell people what that meant. We don't always do a great job of telling our own stories and telling people why things are named what they are. So this is an opportunity to tell the whole story and really take a new step and a new chapter in our relationships with Indigenous people right here in Burlington.
That's awesome. Is there going to be an opening ceremony, I guess, in spring or summer, I guess?
I hope so. When we put the new sign in, and then we'll be back when we plant some sweetgrass, and
awesome.
Ceremony is part of that, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I've heard from a number of Indigenous residents in our community who are just thrilled at this. They're really happy with the name and the fact that we have chosen to rename it, and the name that was ultimately chosen. So people are really embracing what sweetgrass means, the healing potential and the togetherness of what it means.
Awesome. We're going to change gears a little bit. I know that Brampton and Patrick Brown, they had a campaign to raise money for Bill 21 to fight it. I guess, first of all, what's your thoughts on Bill 21? And I know Burlington decided not to give any, I guess, cash to fighting it. Why is that?
So we, as you likely know, did pass a unanimous resolution at City Council on Tuesday to condemn Bill 21, which makes it illegal to wear what is defined as religious clothing in public places in Quebec, which means a teacher, for example, who wears a hijab as part of her religion can't teach in the classroom. We think this is highly discriminatory, not in keeping with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, not in keeping with our goal to be inclusive, welcoming, diverse. And the municipal interest in that is that anywhere in our country discrimination takes place will affect us, and we need to speak up about it. And so the resolution that we passed was to condemn the bill and to ask the federal government to intervene, and opposition parties as well. This is something that really is not a partisan issue. It should concern all of us. With respect to the funding, we did talk a lot about that at the Ontario Big City Mayors table, because we also at that table, many mayors, and Patrick Brown brought it to that table. We all agreed with the fact that we wanted to condemn Bill 21. But the issue of funding is a trickier one, because we were starting to hear from our counterparts and colleagues in Quebec that it would not be well received to fund a court case. It would be seen as interfering in the autonomy of that province. And they said, but for sure, you condemning this helps to raise awareness, and that was seen as good. And we worked with our Federation of Canadian Municipalities folks to try and get a sense of what our fellow mayors thought would be appropriate, and really work together to try to be helpful on this. And that was the message that we got back very clearly. And so my council, I brought the motion, and it was seconded by my colleague Rory Nissan, who is the Halton representative on FCM. They were grateful that there wasn't a financial request as part of our resolution, because they'd heard that same thing. And we want to be very respectful while also saying we need to call out that this bill is not appropriate. And having said that, there is nothing stopping, as one of my council colleagues very well stated, any individual citizen of Burlington or resident from making their own donation. So you can certainly go to my website and see who all the players are as part of the court case and make a donation that way out of your private funds. But we didn't think it was an appropriate choice for us. I know half the municipalities have made a donation, and another half have not. And so there are still municipalities, Mississauga today, and Hamilton is coming up, Guelph, are all condemning the bill without making a financial donation. So
yeah, okay. We're going to switch gears again. The Olympics are coming up. Okay, and do you want to say anything to the two local athletes, local name to the hockey team, Retina Fast and Emma Malchus?
Bring one home for the mayor.
All right.
Bring it home, ladies. We know you can do it. Oh, we're so proud of them. We are so proud. We have a great hockey community, hockey culture here in Burlington and across the country, but we're very proud of our athletes and all of our teams, and we're like the incubator club for great hockey players, including great women hockey players. So I couldn't be prouder. And
so if they win gold, what are you going to do for them?
I'm going to wear the jersey in the next council meeting.
All right.
If I can get my hands on one.
Streets named after them?
Well, I had to wear the Oakville Blades jersey to.
I remember that.
Yes, I will wear the Olympics jersey or something equivalent, maybe Olympics colors or something. Whatever they send me, I'll wear a T-shirt from, anywhere if they win, and wear it proudly. So.
Awesome. Okay, we're totally switching gears again. This is from one of my writers. The idea of inclusionary zoning for future development popped up recently. How likely do you think something like that will be implemented into the city's growth plan around the GO station?
We'll do something, and it'll be made in Burlington. We have to go through a process that is mandated by the province. So the first step is to do a municipal assessment report, which spells out what the unique needs, considerations, constraints a municipality has, how you might implement the tool. There's lots of different ways to do it. So we're going to do a made in Burlington solution, but I'm reasonably confident that we will find the right solution for Burlington, because we all think it's a good tool, including our friends in the development industry. I did ask one of them who delegated when we voted on this item to go ahead with getting the report. Do you agree with inclusionary zoning? And his answer was yes. Okay. If it's done the right way. It's like, okay. That's why we're getting the report. So let's get the report and see how we do it right for us.
Okay. And another crystal ball time. Spencer Smith Park this summer. Are we going to see events?
Absolutely. How big they will be, I don't know.
Okay.
What they will look like, will we have sort of ticketed attendance so that we can control crowds if we're still battling COVID? But we did some of that last year, right? There was a big food truck festival. I mean, the line was, practically down to the Hamilton Pier. But people were wanting to be out and about and respected the health precautions. So there are ways to do outdoor activities, even larger ones, safely. And I'm an optimist, so we're gonna have some events come back.
Sound of Music, Ripfest?
Absolutely, in some form. So it may look a little different, but absolutely, we're gonna see some good things this summer, and sooner than that. So.
Cool. Those are all the questions I have. Do you have anything you want to bring up? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, we just did a community survey in 2021, and it's statistically valid, so it's considered accurate within 3 percentage points. What we found out, which was really awesome, 95% of people in the community said they were satisfied or very satisfied with the delivery of city services, which is awesome. 89% of people say they love living here. That's a 13% increase, or it's the highest it's been in 13 years, put it that way.
Okay. Awesome. Good for you.
People are really happy. We asked about, do you think we're doing a good job with COVID? We got a 93% approval rating from the community. That was really nice to hear, because I know our staff and our council and our community, we've all been working so hard through COVID, and to see that approval rating was really nice. We also saw a huge increase, 34% increase since the last term of council, in people feeling like their decisions, the decisions we make reflect the input from the public, that they're heard, that they have opportunity to engage, that they know what's going on. 21% increase in people saying, I get my news from the mayor and council. So that's awesome. We're out there telling people as much as we can. And so their approval rating for council is 84%, where they feel it's open, transparent, accountable government, and they know what's going on. So I'm feeling like A+ today.
Is that one of the highest in the country? I mean, 84% from a council perspective is huge.
So I can't comment on the country, but what our consultant told us, we farm this out, it's independent. They do, they do it all sort of scientifically to make sure it's statistically valid. They do this for hundreds of communities across North America. And he stood in council chambers and said, I never see results like this, by the way. We do, like, some communities would be happy with like 51% approval rating, like 95, 89, 80.
That's crazy.
You don't see these numbers. You should be very proud of yourself. And when I say that, proud of yourself, I mean the whole community, because it takes our community to tell us what is on their mind, to pitch in on COVID and make the sacrifices we've seen, to participate in public meetings so we make better decisions. It takes a team of council working together well. It takes staff and council working together well. And that has happened. The community, our council, our staff, our city hall, everybody working together to make those results happen. No one of us owns that. We all own that. So I'm very proud of our community for that. It is unheard of, and we got those approval ratings through a pandemic, which is pretty impressive.
True. I'm a firm believer that leadership trickles down, and sounds like you're a good leader. So, and one more question. Oh yeah, I might have the premier next week, and I ask the mayors if they'd like me to ask a question, so we can amplify that question. So, is there something you want me to ask? Well,
we need the premier to sign on to the $5 a day childcare. The mayors have been asking for that for a while, and just make it happen. Our families deserve the same opportunities as every other family in all the other provinces, to have access to good, affordable childcare, so we can get our economy back up and running and recover from COVID. Absolutely, we need that. And I would also say, keep advocating to the federal government for Ontario's share of funding across the board. So, and also let's work together on the affordable housing. So we had our task force, the summit. Summit was today.
How did it go today?
Very positive, actually. Okay. Positive. The premier was there for 4 hours listening. The Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing was there taking notes for 4 hours. And also offering their insights into, where they think they can be helpful. There's a new fund that was just announced to streamline approvals. I think I might have been the first mayor to submit the application as soon as we got the form. I signed it with my finger on my iPad and said, ignore the wonky handwriting here, but it's really me. That is my signature, and we want to participate in this to do everything we can to work with you. So, you know, we have a great partnership opportunity with the province and with other levels of government to do good things for our community. So I'm very optimistic.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's all I have. Anything more on your end?
There's probably lots more we haven't talked about. We'll talk about it next week.
All right. Okay. We'll talk next week.
I'll be back.
Okay. All right. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Colin.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.